Hi, my name is Nadia Otoo. I'm the creative director for the Dressmakers GH, a clothing and apparel company that specializes in making clothing for women. We fuse art and fashion design to create bespoke pieces for anyone that loves timeless style. I have a background in sociology and social work, as well as law. And right before I started the Dressmakers GH, I was working as an executive assistant to the CEO of an IT firm. I'm not going to mention their name, but um, when COVID hit, things became a bit difficult for the company as it did for many others as well. My contract was for 6 months. And so I decided together with my boss not to renew it again. And in July 2020, I started the dressmakers from home. I've always been a creative person and I've always loved to draw and to create stuff with my hands. So I just saw it as an opportunity to do something that I've always wanted to do ever since I was a child. When I started, it took a lot of personal funds and help from my husband and my mom especially. And over time, the business started to sort of take care of itself. We're still not at a place where we generate a lot of revenue, but slowly, when we need things to be done, we go back to the business pool rather than to our personal funds. And I've seen that that's slowly changing, so that's good for us. One of the things I keep reading, or I kept reading when I decided to venture into the fashion industry, or actually to start a business generally, was that the most successful businesses solve a problem. And I kept asking myself, and I kept wondering, what problem am I actually solving? Am I just another fashion um, entity, or am I just somebody that's just making clothes? Because there seem to be so many, especially these days after COVID hits, everybody's creating something by themselves. But I realized that one thing all my clients or all my customers say to me is, it's almost as if you read my mind. That's a very constant feedback I keep getting. Sometimes they would show me a design that they want and ask me to create something for them. And knowing the person's personality, knowing who they are, I know that that thing they're asking for, they won't be able to wear it or it won't suit them, not just physically, but it won't suit their personality. So I add a certain touch or I change something from what they originally wanted. And they come back and always say to me, it's almost as if you read my mind. So for me, that's very encouraging. And I feel that's a unique selling point for us because we add a personal touch to your physical appearance to give you a certain confidence. And you're always looking forward to the next thing that will make for you. From my point of view and personal experiences so far, one of the main challenges of running a business in Ghana, there are many to be honest, but one of the main ones is not having like a properly structured system of things working. So, for example, if you want to even register your company, Like the processes are on their website, but in theory, that's so in theory it's supposed to be working, but what's actually happening on the ground is totally different from what has been uploaded. So the systems just don't work very well to support new startup companies to thrive. It's almost as if the system is working against you and stifling you rather than creating the opportunity for you to thrive. Another example is even the taxes, doing your taxes well so that you can continue to excel financially. And you go to the tax office and you can't even get the proper help you need to be able to follow up on the documentation process. And it's just stressful because for most of us, especially in the creative industry, you're trying to even make people believe in what you are doing to begin with. So when all of these bureaucratic processes and administrative stuff are also taking up most of your time, it can feel overwhelming sometimes, to be honest. In 5 to 10 years, I'm hoping that the dressmakers GH, so sometimes I call it TDM for short, will have its own garment production factory. When I say factory, people imagine something extravagant and large. I mean, 10 years hopefully, but just the space for us to be producing our garments using all the ethical and sustainable methods that we currently use as a small entity, and just making more clothing and basically becoming a scalable entity so that we can offer employment to a lot of other people who are creatives as well. Personally, I haven't experienced any form of discrimination or inequality in terms of running a business as a female, because people usually associate the name, the dressmakers, they always associate it with a woman. And what I would say is a challenge is it doesn't allow for them to envision where I am seeing the business in 5 to 10 years. They assume it's always going to be like a small thing you're doing as a hobby. So perhaps that's the challenge as a woman, and especially with the name I chose. But it was an inspired name, and I really believe that's what my business is meant to be called. So the business mistake I've made so far, I'm pretty sure I'll probably make some more, but so far is not having clear short-term goals. I had like an overall long-term goal. I want to do this. I want to create this entity that in the future gives opportunity to people and all of that. Like I had all these fancy ideas, but I didn't take the time to create short-term goals that will help me realize the overall long-term goals. And as a result of that, when I started, I was not as confident. And it's like people would keep telling you and try to pull you in different directions. And that makes you lose money sometimes, or even lose certain opportunities that if you had sat down and thought through and planned properly, you would probably not lose. My advice to anyone that's interested in starting a business is plan exactly what it is that you expect from yourself, from your business, over certain short periods. So in 3 months, in 6 months, in 1 year, you might have the overall business planning, you might have your overall aspiration. But if you break them down into smaller attainable goals, it helps you to have a clearer picture of what you need to do to make sure that you achieve those goals that you've set for yourself.